original podcast fra Arrow. Velkommen til Innovators Club. Rigtig god fornøjelse med dagens episode.
Hello everyone, and welcome to this session on how to succeed together with Microsoft through Commercial Marketplace. So, my name is Martin Fischer, and I'm working at Arrow, responsible for our ISV program that we call Innovation Factory. And today in the studio I have Ida and Massimo. So Ida, would you like to do an introduction to you?
Yes, thank you for having us, Martin. My name is Ida and I work in the ISV team in Microsoft. We work with everything from very early startup to more mature ISVs. My role is more on the commercial side to engage with new ISVs, and then we also have Massimo with us, who is one of our cloud solution architects. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yes, and I said my name is Massimo. I work as a cloud solution architect, and I help ISVs on succeeding through the marketplace. So put your own software into the marketplace, and I cover mainly the technical part of it, and I'm really excited to be here.
Thank you. Thanks for having us. So Ida, would you like to do a startup, a walkthrough on the slide that we see on the screen?
Yeah, and maybe just to set the scene from Microsoft side and also from Arrow side, our goal with software companies is to help you grow, to get new customers, because as you grow, your business with us grows. So in that way, we have a joint goal of getting you new customers. And for us, one of the kind of key metrics to get new customers is through our commercial marketplace, because that is where we see a lot of growth potentials. So that's why we want to take you through the steps here. We will start with the little bit more introduction to what is the marketplace and why do we see the importance of getting there. Then we will have a session after this where we will be a little bit more deep dive into what does this actually mean and how do you then get on the marketplace. And then we will finish up with a session around more when you are in the marketplace, how do we then actually go to market together and the potentials for you to grow in that way. Just to set the scene, the goal is for us to have your solutions running in Azure using some of the innovative services we have there so we can get them out to our joint customers and grow together. So that's kind of our overall goal with these sessions. Some of you might already have your solution running in the cloud. Some of you might have it on-prem, and there's potential for you to modernize your solutions. Just to set the kind of context for Marketplace to be relevant for you guys, you will have to have your solution either migrated or modernized in Azure. And that is not only for the sake of the Marketplace, that's also for the sake of the demand in the market we see. There is a huge demand for cloud solution, and that is just increasing tremendously over the next couple of years. So if you're not already on the cloud journey, this is a good time for you guys to kind of get into that. Mm-hmm. And then why the marketplace? Because for you guys, it could also be there are so many marketplaces out there. Why should I be there instead of my direct sales and the current sales motions you have? But what we see and what we also supported from research from Forrester and other of the research institutes, that a lot of the sales interactions in the future will be through marketplaces. So for you to actually be relevant in your sales conversations in the coming 1 to 5+ years, you will have to be in a marketplace. And this is, of course, something that Microsoft sees the importance in. So that's why we are putting a lot of investment into the marketplace. So for you guys to have a good platform to scale through and for the customers to have a good experience to buy the solution through.
Yeah, we also, the ISVs that we're talking to is we also try to not push them, but at least make them aware of the marketplace, because it is, a marketplace it is what it is, but there are some good humans in your organization to help you and assist the ISVs with growing the business to your end customers as well.
Yeah. So and there's many growth opportunities for the ISVs when they get onto the marketplace. There's of course the direct sales engagement with the larger enterprises where Microsoft will have a direct conversation also where we can help you scale. But there's also the whole let's call it lower end of the market, where there is a huge potential in going to market in a different way through partners and together with partners where Arrow has a a great value prop in how you can help the ISV scale through both your end customers and your resale partners.
Yeah, exactly. So that is basically what the whole innovation factory is about. I know the catchphrase is a little bit corny, but it's kind of like Tinder for business. So we are the professional matchmaker between the ISVs to partners and end customers as well. So and of course with a lot of help and advisory and assistance from you guys as well. So yeah, that is what we do here.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but also from the customer side, there is a demand to buy through digital channels. And here, a research from Tackle.io made for Microsoft, where some of the reasons behind what is it driving the customer demand to buy through a centralized digital platform. One is that it's actually quicker for them to get the value out of the solutions they're buying because they have quicker access to the solution. But one we actually see getting more and more top of mind for the customers is the procurement part. So they want to simplify the amount of suppliers they have. So instead of having to handle 30 different software vendors, some bigger, some smaller, by buying them through a centralized marketplace, they can actually reduce that into one. So if you guys would sell your solution through the marketplace or through a partner like Arrow via the marketplace, the customer would have you as your supplier under the partner that they will buy through. So either Arrow or through the marketplace. Mm-hmm. So combining the suppliers to one invoice, which is really a key point for both big enterprises, but actually also smaller companies. So that is a trend we see growing.
Yeah. And there's also a lot of advantages for using Microsoft in the whole terms and conditions. And if you want to provide the solution to other countries, there's the whole currency exchange, etc., etc.
Yes.
And also the tax consideration is also another important aspect.
Yeah.
And the possibilities that you can do through the marketplace.
Yeah, so a lot of advantages for using that.
Exactly. And actually the legal part, as you mentioned, Martin, is also a big driver for the customers because as they buy solutions through the marketplace, the solutions will be under the Microsoft customer agreement, and thereby they have already had their legal department look into the terms and conditions. So unless that the software company will put on amendments or other special terms, we actually see for some of the ISVs that is on the marketplace under the standard contract that the whole legal process of their sales process has been reduced significantly. So in that way, it might not be like a way for you to get leads following into your funnel, but it will reduce your sales cycles by a lot, and in that way make you more efficient.
Yeah.
And then we have the reverse of this one of why software companies will sell through the marketplace. You can see they're almost the equivalent of the other points. But here it is that they will get. I think you should really see it as a sales enabler for a lot of your deals by being on the marketplace. We also see a lot of customers now. We don't have it as external reference cases yet because there's ongoing dialogue, but we actually have customers that is asking our account teams now, can you show us which ISVs we can buy through the marketplace? Because that's what we're going to do then. Yeah. So it's also going to be a more requirement from the customers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty interesting, actually.
Yeah.
So it's just not a software, but it's an important thing on how to buy the software.
Exactly.
I believe you can see it as the evolution of the sales channels, right? It's a new sales channel, and it is a digital sales channel, and you do sell software through digital channels, and the marketplace is the evolution of the sales, as you might think, right? It's not anymore knocking on the door and selling your software, right? You go on
just like old times.
Exactly. I mean, partially you still have the traditional interaction. You still have phone calls or meetings, right? Yeah. But I believe the question of getting the visibility all around the world, global reach, and having the contact with a click is pretty powerful. And as you said, Ida, having the account teams from the customers that are asking now to go through the marketplace and buy through the marketplace is also pretty powerful.
Yeah. And then there's not only one and two people in the account team. There's quite a few, and also focusing on different verticals, FSI and retailing, etc., etc. So there's a pretty powerful team behind the whole engagement process for the customers.
Yes. And just another little note. I mean, also what you said. I mean, all the procurement flow with the taxes, currency, having it handled by Microsoft is pretty good.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about many little aspects, which you normally will ask your internal people to handle these kind of processes for you. So you need to have resources allocated that takes care of the entire process. Azure Marketplace gives you this out of the box.
Yeah,
that's pretty
Yes.
powerful.
So there's a lot of different, I would like to say, depth behind. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of people say that's only a marketplace and nothing will happen and blah blah blah. But there's a lot of more into it. There's a lot of more aspects behind the scenes, so to say, for onboarding to marketplace.
And I think we will see a lot going forward in the coming years, where they will change a lot. So, I mean, we are putting a lot of money into the marketplace, and that is because we see a big customer demand for it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be investing that much.
And the interest of having partners is because Microsoft is using partners all the time. And our business is partner-based business. This is why it's so important that we all are together into it.
Yeah, totally agree.
So now we talked a little bit about kind of the demand for the marketplace and the value we see of why going to market with software companies towards customers. So then let's just kind of dive into what is the marketplace, so it becomes a little bit more concrete.
Yeah, perfect.
Basically, it is a business-to-business focused platform, so it's not for end consumers, so it is for business-to-business focused ISVs also that it's relevant. So if you are a business-to-consumer software house, you will have to find other platforms to sell through. But basically, it's everything from business-oriented solutions to more IT-focused developer solutions. And in overall, we call them the commercial marketplaces in Microsoft. That is basically an umbrella term for two external-facing, let's call them storefronts. The backend will be the same. So for you guys, when you're going to publish, it's the same process for either or. Whether you will, let's call it, end up in Azure Marketplace or Microsoft AppSource depends on if your solution is oriented towards business users, then it's Microsoft AppSource. Or if it's tech IT users, then it's Azure Marketplace. And as you can see here, we have some of our Danish ISVs who already published on the marketplace as examples. But yeah, that is basically the two storefronts that you will have possibility to be published in.
Yeah. Perfect.
And I will also say the possibility from, sorry if I jump in from a technical side, the possibilities on putting a solution here is huge. As you mentioned or you show here, Cludin is one great example of what we call managed application, something that you put on the customer tenant. So it's the customer paying for the subscription. And Omada is going to be a SaaS service, but I will go through those little detail later on. But it's very interesting. Or I just want to highlight that there is more possibilities behind the AppSource and the marketplace.
Yeah, and I think it's also, I know you'll jump into that later on, but it's also important to note that it's not, you don't have to have a solution where it's like one size fits all and it's just click, download, and then the customers go. There is more room for complexity and complex solution. I mean, Cludin is a master data management solution. So there is the options of doing specific terms and offers for a specific customer if that is what your solution kind of requires. Okay. So you have all the possibilities and levels in the marketplace.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Because otherwise, actually, a lot of the ISVs we talked to in the first round, they're like, but our solution is a little bit too advanced for a marketplace. Where it's like, you shouldn't think of it as app. What is it called? The one on your phone, the Apple Store. I mean,
App Store. Yeah.
It is a business to business platform.
Yeah, exactly.
And just to put some numbers on it, this is global numbers, but I actually think the global numbers make sense to show even in a Danish context, because one of the opportunities for being in a marketplace is that it is a global marketplace and that Microsoft is a global organization. So you have the possibility to go international with less resources than you would have to if you would do it all on your own. So we see 4 million plus active users every month. There's a lot of apps already published there, both global and Danish, as you just saw. And just to put, again, some numbers behind it, it is growing. So it is a platform in growth. So you should not be worried in investing your time in Marketplace.
It's good to know.
Yeah. It's at least nice to know that it's just not like a one person sitting looking around in there.
There's something more into it. So it's, that's a good thing.
And back to some of the points that Massimo was talking about. I mean, it gives you the possibility to go global. It's present in 141 geographies. Wow. So there's a few that's not there, but so far we have not encountered any of the Danish ISVs, at least, where these 141 didn't kind of cover their target countries.
Maybe I just want to add also here. Think if you have a company and you want to sell in one of these 141 countries where you don't know the legal taxation or the regulations or the taxation there, is not straightforward. And having it done by Microsoft for you is pretty good. Is pretty good.
It's a big help.
Yeah,
it's a really big help. Yeah.
And that goes the same with the currencies that we will handle for you, the 52 tax managed countries where we will do the taxes for you. Some of the ISVs that I'm in dialogue with right now, they're actually considering if this should be their only platform for going outside the Danish borders, so to say, so that they will not handle any of these things themselves unless it's a Danish customer. Because, of course, Microsoft takes if you transact through the marketplace where this becomes relevant, then Microsoft takes a 3% flat fee, which is not a fee to give us a profit. It's a fee to handle all the administrative task of doing this.
The complexity behind it,
But then the ISVs will also be able to reduce that cost if they choose to let Microsoft do these transactions for them.
And from an existing landscape of digital sales online, it's in the low end. I would say, really low end
compared to some of our
competitors
in the marketplaces. The 3% is by far the lowest. And also another thing that I believe is pretty powerful is that it doesn't change based on the type of transaction. Many other competitors, they change it based on the amount of the transaction. If the transaction is very high, they can go down to 15%. If the transaction is actually low, it can go up to 20%. So we are pretty consistent on the 3%. And as you said before, Ida, is really because we want to make them succeed. And we don't want to have any profit out of this.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
So, what kind of offers can you actually publish in the marketplace? Because it's not a one size fits all. You have different possibilities. If we start here on the left side, where you have the one we call list, that is kind of a basic contact me offer, which we could also call like a empty marketing kind of shell. It's not really any technical connections between your solution and the marketplace. This can be a good way to kind of show front your solution, but there's less benefits associated with this type of solution from our side, at least. So this is not where we will focus this call and session on.
No.
Then as you move towards the right side, the complexity in the type of listing becomes a little more. You have the option of doing a trial if your solution kind of allows that. I think from a local perspective, Massimo, we have not seen that many publishing trial offers yet.
No, not really. Usually they use it in combination with a transactable offer. They do offer trial for a month and then you need to pay. I will say from business perspective is profitable in the sense that you invest in a growth plan. So you do allow people to use your solution. You pay for that month with the prospects that these people is going to pay later on.
I also think that depends on the complexity of the solution, because if it's a very complex solution, doing a trial,
yes, completely
will be kind of
having an MDM SaaS solution might not be completely beneficial for the company to do that. And this is also why we are using partners to assess this kind of solutions and to give it the best suggestion as you Arrow can do for the customers.
Yeah.
The next one is bring your own licenses. That's very specific for if your solution is built in a way that you can reuse some of the customer's licenses. So again, that's not something we see that often. Where the magic really happens is on the right side with the transactable offer, where the actual transaction will happen in Marketplace. And there, as we just briefly mentioned before, you have the option of course, first publishing the public offer, which will be the one visible in the Marketplace, but also do what we then call private offers, where you can do special terms and condition per customer or per partner that you're working with.
Yeah, exactly.
And then only making it visible to that customer or that partner.
Yeah.
And this would also be the metric you would use as an ISV if you want to make your solution resellable, if that's a word.
Now it is.
Towards Arrow and Arrow's resellers, then it would be a private offer made to them that they can then go to market with.
Yeah, exactly.
I will dig into that a little bit later on. Yes.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah.
Pretty simple, straightforward.
Yes. And again, just a ring to show this is where the magic happens.
Yeah. To emphasize.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then I think you wanted to show some.
Yes, and I will show my slides. I have in this slide deck, I start with two very interesting slides, and I will say images. Partners make more possible. This is our statement, and it's also to say maybe we sometimes exchange the wording customers and partners, or we misuse them. We're talking about partners all the time. If you become an ISV, you become a Microsoft partner, not a customer. I believe this makes a huge difference. And of course,
you actually become both, so you get maybe the both of both worlds.
Yeah, somehow you also get it, but it's more to highlight that we are together with you, right?
That is true.
Which is also true for customers, as we are always, as we say, customer obsessed. But for partners, I could not also show avoid to show this picture from our beloved CEO, and because he is highlighting in all the events that we have how much important are partners for us.
I think that's also back to that your growth and your success is ours. So in that way, we are really in it together, because we want you to grow your business, so your business grows with us.
Yes. So I want to show you two things. The first one, the Azure Marketplace is available via web and is available via the portal. And those two informations are quite important. I have Ida has talked already about the AppSource. And the AppSource, as you can see, is a collection of many the number of solutions are increasing every day, and you can see that those solutions are mainly based on 365. Those are add-ons or software that you can use in the 365 suite, and the Azure Marketplace is for SaaS solution mainly, and this is a kind of solution where, okay, I took this solution randomly. I don't know what they do, this company, but they are a contact me offer, right? If I click on it, I can really not do anything than contacting them, and they know that I contacted them, and then they will come back. Yep. That means that it's gonna be a lead for you. Someone is interested in your software, and then the binding, I would say, the contact the
connection will start.
Yeah. In the traditional way, right? It could be a phone call, an email, and so
And we
on.
do see some ISVs starting here, and then when they have made this first initial solution, they will develop it further into a transactable. So this is the easiest way to get started with the marketplace.
Yeah.
Yes. Then this is a Get It Now. A Get It Now, we're talking now about a transactable offer. Here now you pay, and you can check on the plan and the pricing. This company, which is also randomly selected, they are selling between 265,000 users to one, some things like that. The billing term, which I will also show a slide regarding billing terms and payment, and they have $2 per user.
Yes.
Right. Then theoretically, I will go here, Get It Now, and then I will subscribe to it. There is a flow to follow, and I will show you that to you also later.
Yep.
Yes, and basically I took those two, and the difference between this one and this one is a SaaS solution, software as a service. Another one is managed application. I will show the differences as soon as I go back to the slide. So I said, I summarized everything in one big slide, very busy slide.
Yeah.
But I will walk through this slide in a stepwise way. Let me take my pointer. So as we have said, I believe already a couple of times, the listing types, we have the contact me, free trial, test drive, bring your own license. So as you can see, these from the very intuitive icon here, they are not transactable. You cannot sell it. You cannot make money out of it.
Then you can make money out of it, just not through the marketplace.
To the marketplace. Yeah. It's just increasing the complexity of your sales process. So basically, you do an extra step, which is you need to contact me, I contact you back, and then we agree on a price, and so on.
Yeah.
All transactable offer. And the transactable offer, they are divided in transaction types, which is you can sell on the marketplace virtual machine images, some things called managed application, and software as a service. So the real difference is where you install your software. Virtual machine images can be sold, but the virtual machine images needs to be hosted at the customer subscription.
Okay.
Managed application, same discussion. It goes into the customer subscription. Software as a service is in your own subscription. And I will say the complexity of virtual machine images and managed application is a little bit higher because you need to manage someone else's resource group in another subscription from your subscription. So everything related to bug fixes or updates of your software and so on, it will become a little bit more complex. But the benefit with it is that you unload all the infrastructure costs to your customer.
Okay.
Yeah. Managed application is something like infrastructure as a code, templates that you deploy together with your software. And then you need to have a mechanism for activating the licenses of your software in the customer subscription.
Okay.
But you could say, like, high level, which one you should go for in the marketplace depends on how your solution is built. So if your solution is on your own tenant as a ISV, you would go for the software as a service. If the solution is not built on your tenant, but you're using the customer tenant, then it would either be the virtual machine image or the managed application.
Yeah. I believe I've seen a good example is MDM solutions, right? Master Data Management Solution. We have ISVs that decided to go SaaS. That means that they took the full responsibility on the data. And when I say that, it means if you are in Europe and you deploy the solution in Europe, you need to be EU GDPR, you need to have the right controls, you need to make sure that the data is secured at your end. Yeah. And also show to the customer that you are delivering compliant solution. Yeah. If you do managed application, you unload all the responsibility of the policies that you might have in your Azure subscription to the customer. They are responsible for data storage, data retention, EU GDPR controls, and so on. Yeah, okay. So there are pros and cons in both sides.
Because then you also, this is a completely different discussion, no? Because that's more the business model of the ISV. Because with the SaaS solution, you probably also have the possibility to do a higher margin because you bundle more together in a way with the cost. So I think that's
definitely.
It depends. I would say.
It depends. Yes, it depends.
And I think most is actually the most we are engaged with will end up as SaaS solutions.
Oh yes. I mean, this is, I would say, also what we suggest most, and the SaaS solutions are the ones that are going to drive the market in the long run. Yeah. It's very much also related, as you say, on the pricing model that you might have, which we'll also discuss about it later on. Yeah. So let's say that now we have decided that we do a transactable offer. We, of course, do a software as a service. But now we need to have plans. Mm-hmm. So an offer has the possibility to create different plans. And the plans can be based on features. It can be based on a flat rate for the entire software, per number of users. And something that I really like, usage-based pricing. Mm-hmm. And the beauty with it is also that the marketplace support that.
Nice.
You can have custom, I would say, KPIs that you can put on your solution based on the usage. If it's going to be data, I want to charge a customer for the amount of data that they are storing. You want to charge a customer for number of users, as I said, active users, for number of API calls, and this is pretty easy to set up.
So basically, however you made your pricing metric, let's call it in the real world, that you will also be able to do in the marketplace. So there is all the flexibility to support your existing pricing model.
We don't have the time to live demo that, but just bear with me, technically speaking. Yeah. You create a field in the partner center, which is basically the management application for your offer. Yeah. You create one field. And once you have saved it, an API behind the scene is already created with that field. Okay. That means that you can call it on demand as soon as you know that your customer is using more than X amount of gigabyte. You just record it through this API with that field that you created in the partner center. Oh, is as easy as I'm saying it. Yeah, as well.
And we can see here in the studio you're really happy. So.
I'm really excited. Those are possibilities, opportunities. And when someone as a startup or an ISV has opportunities, they need to grab it. Yeah. And this is a very good way to grow. Yeah. Nice. Okay, managed application. I just want to show one slide, and it is just to highlight that. Your solution as a managed resource group is in the customer tenant. The customer, of course, has purchased your solution in the customer tenant, and they have limited access to your infrastructure here that you have deployed at the customer tenant. But you do have read access or controlled access, I would say, to this resource group. Mainly for bug fixes and updates for your solution, but this is just highlighting the point that I was making before, that the customer is paying for the infrastructure here, and it's not you paying for the infrastructure. So basically, you are selling the license of your software here. Okay. Yeah.
Copy that.
Billing terms. This is highlighting. The possibilities that you have. You can have different payment options. It can be per month, annual, one-time payment. The billing terms can be up to 3 years. Actually, this is the maximum that you can set up. Okay. And you decide if you want 36 equal payments or 3 years paid upfront. Maybe one thing that I would like to note here is that if you have a 2 years payment, a billing term with the 2 equal payments, or let's say the 3 years maybe is a better example. 3 years with 3 equal payments. Now, let's say that the customer has started the second year, and suddenly the customer doesn't want to use your solution anymore. They will anyway use the solution up to the end of the second year, and then from the third year they will not pay anymore. What I want to highlight is that the payment options are pretty important to understand the life cycle of your application for that specific customer.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes good sense.
Pricing option available. I believe you touched upon this, Ida, already. I will just skip it. So when you put a solution to the marketplace, I believe there are many or some aspects that you need to get in place. Maybe the pricing model is one of those, and we will talk about it later. From a pricing perspective, what I see, and I also wrote it here, you have, of course, the possibility to use your existing pricing model. But I see this also as an opportunity to reevaluate your pricing model and to expand it.
Also, just to add a comment to that, we actually see that I believe the last research I read was that the average ISV or business-to-business software company is only spending 6 hours, throughout the whole lifetime of the solution on pricing, which is actually quite crazy when you think about it, because pricing is basically the way you kind of get the money out of the value you deliver to the customer. So to only spend 6 hours, which I would then assume is upfront in your product development on one of the core element of your product is quite crazy. So we would actually always advise software companies to continuously work on their pricing model. It should be like a quarterly, biannual exercise that you do. So if you haven't done it for a while, I agree it's a good opportunity to kind of say, okay, should we look at our pricing and see if we can optimize it?
I believe it's also a question of mindset, if you think about it, because in the past, people were buying one virtual machine for hosting their application. You will pay the virtual machine for the entire year. Think about it, no matter of the usage. And then the pricing would have been easy, because you say, my virtual machine costs $100 per year. It's not true, but yeah, $100 per year. And then I said, okay, they are going to use this. I put 40% margins, for instance, and then this is my pricing model. That's it, right? But today with Azure, you have pay as you go. So the usage of your virtual machine can go up and down. So you can actually optimize this revenue in a better way, and this is going to be beneficial not only for you, because you're going to spend less on the infrastructure, but it's going to be beneficial for the end user, for the customer. And I will say what I see later on in the future is all these ISVs, they will really compete on making the best pricing model, even if they have the same solution. This will be a differentiator in the long run. I agree. Marketing. So on these slides, I have also some links on the best practices from a marketing perspective. How do you actually make it beautiful on the marketplace? Of course, having a good logo, good resolution is a good practice. Or having a good screenshot is also a good practice. Even you can even upload videos. I was just about to say the video actually works quite well. And here I put it category and industry, and I want to highlight one important differentiator, I will say, from a Microsoft perspective. If you have a solution which is tailored for life science customers, you can actually flag it in the partner center and say, this is for life science customers. And we have Microsoft Azure for health. And that means that our sales representatives sometimes can go there and say, okay, we have these kind of solutions from our ISVs that can be beneficial for you and so on. And this is also for retail, is the same discussion. So having this also in mind when you do position, you create your offer is quite important. We also help our ISV on this journey as you. And I also know, Arrow, you have kind of industry maps also, where you kind of bundle ISV solution and resellers into industry value props.
So we have different kind of solution maps where we show what ISVs and services, of course, Arrow can also provide some some hardware, what we call OT, in combination with ISV solutions. So yeah, we work in the exact same way, so to say. So there's a good synergy between what you do and what we do. So yeah, absolutely.
And then, of course, you can put some additional services. I will say that these additional services can be put it as a standalone kind of contact me offer. Would not suggest that, or it's put it together in the pricing. There could be support, consultancy, implementation of the solution. And if you, as an ISV, have partners like Arrow, maybe Arrow could be the one doing the support, the consultancy, or implementation, some things like that.
Yeah. Cool.
The pricing, I touched upon that. I believe you have very well explained the Mac. And from a legal perspective, legal perspective, I will say that the Microsoft standard terms and conditions cover, I will say the most, but what it will cover the most is the payment terms. In the standard Microsoft terms and conditions, you have the payment terms, which means that the payment goes through Microsoft, and then you, as an ISV, get the money. And Microsoft takes care of taxation, if you create the tax profile in the right way, and the payout account information, the bank account. But what we normally will say, especially for private offer, is to create some things like a custom terms and condition, which means Microsoft is not going to cover the SLA for you for the software. For the infrastructure is another discussion. For the software. So. Or specific support deal that you could have, or specific things that you normally would put in a contract. So, it's like a contract, a traditional contract, minus the payments you do normally in the custom terms and conditions. And then you link the section for the payments to the Microsoft terms and conditions. There is some technical thing to be done. And I summarized them here, a landing page and a webbook, an Azure-ready integration. You need to implement a publisher portal. And if you use custom meter billing, you also need to implement it.
But just to say, it's not that you have to change anything in your solution.
No.
It's the integration between Marketplace and Partner Center / your solution. So it's not like we require, unless your solution is, of course, not running on Azure. But assuming your solution is a cloud-built Azure solution, then it's not your solution you are changing. It's the technical setup you are making.
Exactly. And I will even, again, highlight Microsoft is providing this for you out of the box. But I want to now go through a typical subscription flow for a public offer. And then I will jump back to the difference between public and private. I will go back and forth between these two concepts because those are kind of different. Let's suppose you are in the marketplace with the transactable offer. As you can see, is Get It Now. The customer sees your solution. In this case, I made the flow going through the marketplace on the web part. I do Get It Now. The Azure portal for the customer will open. Then the customer will probably choose a plan based on their need. They will click on set up subscribe. Once the subscription is not activated. When subscription is not really activated, this may be the wrong term, but is fired. You get this configure account now, but you are not yet paying for the solution. Then you do configure account now as a customer. You get redirect to a landing page. Then you make the request to be subscribed. And this part here is the part where the ISV has control over. It means that Microsoft here knows that you want to subscribe. Now you know that they want to subscribe. When you are ready for deploying the solution for the customer, then you activate the subscription. So it's at your end as an ISV to activate the subscription. And when you do activate the subscription, you start the billing process. Invoicing, tax calculation, currency, you name it. This is just to highlight that this part here is responsibility of Microsoft is all down here, and this here is responsibility of the ISV. So the ISV needs to implement the landing page. They need to be able to register the requests with the fulfillment API. They need to activate the subscription, and of course they are in control of deploying their solution. And then the webhook will be fired in the marketplace. Microsoft will handle the action and will start the billing.
Okay, cool.
It sounds pretty complicated, but
it looks pretty complicated.
It looks, but you have 3 options for implementing the landing page, the request registration, activation. So those are 2 web apps, a landing page web app, and this is an admin web app. And I will normally say, to be fair to the ISVs, you have 3 options to do that. They differ by, I would say, the level of control that you want to have over this little solution that you need to implement. If you want to have 100% management of this solution, that also means that you need to have your own development team. You need to make sure that if something goes wrong, you fix it. If Microsoft updates the API, you update your solution.
You can hear that Massimo is not talking into this version for you.
Not at all. But feel free. I need to give you the option. You still have a very nice amount of documentation that you need to read, and those documentation are regarding the fulfillment API, custom meter API, and then of course you need to make sure that the solution is a multi-tenant application, because anyone from Azure needs to log into your landing page and say, I want to buy from you, right? So they come from different tenant. The second option, the SaaS accelerator, you have a 50% control. It means that maybe even more, but it means that you have access to a code base where you can modify partial components of your solution. It means you can modify your CSS because it needs to be according to your branding strategy, and you want to you want to put your own logo. Maybe you have specific CSS style for your buttons and so on. And this is a really good solution.
This is Massimo's favorite.
That's my favorite. Yes, it is. And this solution is pretty straightforward. I just want to show you the architecture a little bit higher, bigger. It's pretty simple. There is an app service, a subscriber portal, and publisher portal. There is an SQL server database, and of course the publisher portal and subscriber portal, they are registered to the Azure AD. The publisher goes to the admin portal, the publisher portal, and subscriber goes to the subscriber portal, which is nothing else than the landing page. And then there is the webhook. The beauty with it is everything is implemented. Yep. is one deployment script far. So you just really write your deployment script, fire your deployment script in the PowerShell, in the Azure PowerShell, and then it gets deployed in your tenant. SQL database already have the data model done. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Yes.
We can see you're really
yes, I am. And to be fair, I need to give also the third option. The third option is called Mona. I really like Mona for the very little effort that you need to do to install it. But I also believe this is something that you have no control basically here, more or less. Is a little bit more complicated to be honest, in my view, to maintain or to update. But this is also an option that you can choose.
Last words on the deployment options?
I can show a little bit what it takes to implement the SaaS accelerator, or do we?
Let's do it in the next one.
In the next one, we do.
So there's a cliffhanger for the viewers and the listeners.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned for the next one.
Session is gonna be awesome.
All right. So Ida and Massimo, thank you for this session.
Our pleasure.
Good to have you in the studio, and we're gonna do a round 2. So everyone listening out there, thank you for attending, and also thank you for listening to this session. So And we hope you're gonna listen and see this session too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Husk, du kan finde links og mere materiale i podcastens episodebeskrivelse. Tak fordi du lyttede med. Ha' en skøn dag. Har du ønsker til en podcast, vi endnu ikke har lavet? Så send os en besked.